Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to episode 10 now of The Bookshelf. I'm your host, Woody, and with me is.
Lone Gamer.
And Dreamer
And,
Girl.
well, who'd have thunk it? 10 episodes of The Bookshelf already. And eight for you. And you're on our eight episodes. Well done, gamer. I hope you've enjoyed your journey through the last 8 episodes.
Thank you.
Like I said, we hope if you're watching this now and watching later, we hope you've enjoyed, following on our journey through 10 episodes. And, we hope to bring you many, 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 many more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So today we thought we'd do a little bit of something different. While the lone gamer has been with us for 8 episodes now, we figured you don't really know a great deal about him. So we thought we would put the lone gamer under the microscope, check inside that old coconut of his, and see what makes him tick.
Well, let's just face it, Woody. He probably has more of a brain than you.
Oh, well.
Ooh, fighting dirty already.
Oh,
And he's not almost 40.
oh. You're making me feel old. But
You are old.
I'm not quite needing the life alert and walker just yet.
What? Not until September?
Yes, but we'll save that for another day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll make sure to send you your life alert.
Thank you. It's in the mail.
It'll arrive on your birthday, along with your walker that has tennis balls on it.
As long as Gamer is going to send me the comfy slippers and the blanket to go with it, I'll be fine.
I'll get you the adult onesie.
And then is it going to be a hospital grade, blanket?
Yes, with the comfy slippers. But anyway, we are obviously going to be talking about the lone gamer today. And we figured that since we're doing, as you can tell by the episode, book talk with the lone gamer, we would thought we'd have a look behind the curtain at the gamer's reading habits and choices.
And then we figured we'd just ask him a few very simple questions and see how he answers them.
Yes.
So I happen to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, gamer.
Yes.
What are your top 5 favorite books?
Ooh.
Of all time?
Ooh.
Because I know what mine are.
Well, I have to say probably my number one book, and I remember reading it a lot during high school, is the novelization of the 1999 Mummy movie.
Okay.
It was 99, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I didn't realize there was a novelization based on that movie, but given the fact that pretty much every major movie has had a book about it at some point, it doesn't surprise me.
And some of the details in the book, I wish they made into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Number 2 would actually probably have to be this, The Scorpion and the Night Blossom.
Okay.
I'll talk about this book more later. Number 3, because I can't just choose one book, the Harry Potter series.
Okay.
Because I remember I read all those books before I even watch the 5th movie. Number 4, I would have to say the Percy Jackson series
Okay.
because I'm a fan of Greek mythology. Always will be. So to give a new twist on a lot of characters was interesting. Number 5. It's been a while since I've read them. The Artemis Fowl series.
Okay. So maybe Rob, sorry, Gamer, next time you get paid, it might be a trip to World of Books and treat yourself to a stack of books from there. Maybe re-engage some of those old memories.
Yeah.
So, Gamer, what would you say was that moment, where you picked up the book, a particular book, and was like, oh, I'm hooked?
That's a good moment. That's a good question. Usually hooks me really good. It's usually within the first 2 or 3 chapters.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, because we usually have that one book that we read at some point in our youth, and it's like, ooh.
If it quickly immerses me inside the world of that book or that story, I'm in.
So, what would you say your earliest memory of, enjoying a book was?
As a kid, reading the Harry Potter books, because a lot of them I just read one right after the other.
Now, my question is, Gamer, when were all the books out when you started reading Harry Potter, or did you have to wait like the rest of us?
I waited just like the rest of you.
Good, because I was gonna be like these. I hate to say it, kids, but y'all don't understand when you finish book 4, and then you had to wait like forever to get the Order of the Phoenix, and then after you finish the Order of the Phoenix, you then had to wait what felt like forever to get Half-Blood Prince, and then after that, when you had to wait again, it felt like forever.
Sometimes
to get the last one, you're like, these kids, they don't know.
And sometimes the wait between these books was years.
Oh yeah, like I remember waiting what felt like, as a kid, you felt like it was forever.
And
like the movies helped, but
yeah.
But the movies and the books, the books are better.
And the thing is, being able. I guess it's good that kids these days can just go into, a bookstore and pick up a copy, a complete box set these days.
But they don't get that feeling of going to a midnight book release
and getting a copy right in hand.
At 12:01. You always had to wait until 12:01, and then they would hand out your book.
Yep.
There was something about 12:01.
Yep. So, Gamer, what would you say your all-time favorite types are?
Like genre?
Yeah, genres.
Easy. Fantasy and mystery.
Fun fact, you've been reading lots of romantasy, Gamer, because you've been having me look these books up, and he's been making sure that they're young adult romantasy.
Yeah.
Because I warned him what an adult romantasy would involve, and the look on his face was like, "Nah, no thanks."
Nope.
So the
I was like, F this shit, I'm out.
but there was a whole. So your favorites are fantasy and mystery.
Hmm. Or mythology, depending on the series.
Okay.
But you are experimenting with a new genre, I think, gamer, because you're reading
Yes.
Nora Roberts, and that's
Yeah.
more like that's like romance, like it has romance and like paranormal in there.
Yeah. I am currently reading a book I helped get for Dreamer Girl, Mind Games.
I told you, Dreamer, you've corrupted him. You've infected him.
He'll be fine.
He,
I didn't
he,
give him one that was mushy gushy.
well, it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
That's for you, Woody. The mushy gushy, like that makes you want to vomit because it's so romantic.
Well, I suppose I'll just have to keep it in the bathroom to keep for an emergency supply of toilet paper should I run
Dreamer.
out.
I thought we agreed we were going to send him a copy of The Striker.
We could do that. Make sure it's the one with the half naked man on it.
I think I'll pass on that one. You know what? I will 100% pass on that one.
But it'd be so magical. Then you could just say he's smizing.
I mean, that's like I said. I suppose I could always keep it in the bathroom to keep for emergency toilet paper if I need it.
Or give it to your sister.
There is that. There is that. I'll find. Like I said, I'll always find a use for it. Don't you worry.
Now,
And before we go on, yes, people, I can read. I don't need picture books.
that's Woody.
I read.
But you were the one who was saying that you were going to read a bunch of Luke's books and have that count as your Goodreads, challenge.
Hey, they didn't look, the Goodreads summer reading challenge, it doesn't specify what books they have to be. It was more, I was saying, it was me gaming the system.
Hmm.
They never said, look, my point was, nobody said, or there's nothing in the rule book to say that I have to read The Lord of the Rings over the course of the summer. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's a Goodreads. And see, this is something you should look into, gamer. Is you can sign up for Goodreads, and then it will track how many books you read in a year, how many pages you read in a year, what was your longest and shortest book, your highest rating and your lowest rating.
And one of the I was going to game the system by if it says, oh, you need to read 10 more books by this date. Well, nothing says I can't speed run that by reading some kids' books.
Anyways, people.
So my question is, do you have like a least favorite genre?
Life. Oh man. Since I only recently just got not at the moment.
But
I'm pretty sure
that spicy wouldn't be amongst what you would want to read.
Right now, no, because I'm pretty sure I'd have steam coming out of my ears as soon as I finish reading it.
And you'd be about as red as,
She'd be beetroot red.
Yes.
I'd be redder than a baboon's bare butt.
So, who would you say some of your all-time favorite authors are?
Oh man. Well, obviously it'd have to be J.K. Rowling because of Harry Potter series.
Hmm.
Back in the day, that was one of the. She was the top dog back in the day.
Hmm.
Back in the day, I didn't really worry about authors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I'm starting to be a little bit pickier on the authors, so at a later day, I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
Okay.
What would you say that you liked the Hunger Games author? That's Suzanne Collins.
She was pretty good, but I'd have to reread the series because it's been a while since I've read that.
Mm.
And who wrote the Percy Jackson series?
I don't remember.
I have no idea.
But you said you liked the Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I feel like as kids, we didn't really look at authors too much. We were always like, ooh, pretty cover, mine.
Pretty cover, good story.
I mean, to be fair, when I was a teenager, I did like some particular authors
Mm-hmm.
because of the books I read. But anyway, gamer, I'm gonna kick you in the butt for one thing. I'm now gonna have to track down a copy of that the Mummy novelization.
Yeah, trust me, I'm gonna have to get a copy of that myself again.
So I'm looking up it's Rick Riordan did Percy Jackson and the Olympian.
Rick Riordan.
Yeah, Riordan. That's who did Percy Jackson.
Okay.
There you go.
Now we learned something.
Yep, well done. Thank you for that, Dreamer.
Well, I mean, I figured by the look on his face, it was going to drive him crazy all night, and I would like him to be able to go to sleep tonight. So I thought I would do us all a favor.
Yeah, there is that. So I think it's safe to say you like it. Some of the books on your favorite list have been made into TV shows and movies. So what would you say if those have been in your top selections?
I'm sorry, what?
So some of your books on your top 5 have been made into TV shows and movies. What would you say were some of your favorites out of that? The big screen books you've seen?
If I was forced to choose one from each of those series, I would probably have to say my favorite book into a movie. I would probably have to say the third Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
I would say Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, but they had to take really good liberties with some of the details from the book into the movie. But yeah, I'd have to say my favorite book to movie was be Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay, cool. So following on from that, then, Gamer, is out of the books that you've read recently, and some of them don't have one, which would you like to see most of all get either a TV show or a movie adaptation made of it?
Oh, simple. This book right here.
Okay, so tell
It
us a
wouldn't
little
bother.
bit more.
Well, the Scorpion and the Night Blossom deals with a character. I'm not going to pronounce the name because I'm pretty sure I'd butcher it.
Mm-hmm.
She takes part in a trial to get a certain item to save her mother, who was technically half killed by a creature, and has to survive all sorts of different trials and avoid getting killed, while also working with a stranger that based the typical stranger from the shadows saves her for his own gain or his own gratification. I'm sure Dreamer would understand that a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those young adult fantasy books that you've
Mm-hmm.
picked up recently.
Oh yeah,
And he's
and
finished.
yeah, I just finished recently, and it was pretty good.
What would you have rated it on a 1 to 5 star?
I would probably give it a 4, almost 4.5.
Okay.
It took a little bit to start up. It almost pushed that 2 to 3 chapter boundary for me. But once things picked up, it was pretty good.
So it was a bit of a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you also read another book just recently.
Yeah. I read this called Air, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to sum up this book, it tells the perspective of 3 different characters. One of them taking place during the past, and 2 of the characters during the present. And not realizing this actually comes after a book series made by the same author, which I eventually got that I have to start reading.
But you have to be
So
in the
that kind of
mood to
threw me for a loop.
But you have to be in the mood to start a series. To start a series, it's a huge commitment.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But again, I'll have to start that series at some point because it introduces characters that are in this book.
Ah.
And I didn't realize that until I was about almost halfway done with it. Like, oh.
And I didn't even know either.
Well, but from the sounds of it, it does seem like, you could read the Air series without reading the previous books, and you don't really, lose much in way of the story.
Yes and no. I mean, you could get with it, but they mention things that happen in this book that are plot points in the series I have.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like your
Okay.
typical book that's kind of continues the series, and if you didn't read the other one, you won't fully understand.
Yeah, but you get
Mm-hmm.
enough of it, but you get enough plot points and exposition throughout the story that you can kind of get a general idea of
Oh yeah.
what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And from my
I've read series like
understanding,
that.
and from my understanding, and how this book, I think this is intentionally supposed to be start of a series too. This one.
I think I've heard that. I haven't heard if it's going to be a duology or if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be another 4.
Another full-on series with multiple books and maybe even more spin-offs and sequels and prequels to the sequels and sequels to the
Same here.
prequels.
I think if I read right, this is supposed to be the start of a new series too.
Yes, it is. It's number 1 of
this
the
author.
series. It just doesn't say if it's going to have 2 or be a duology or be longer than 2.
Well, all I'm going to say is, let's hope that the the authors, respective authors, I should say, have enough content to get multiple entries out.
Well, they probably will.
And there's obviously enough interest to keep it afloat.
I mean, the author of this book has two series that come before this one. A trilogy and then a duology.
Now, here's my question. Do you prefer shorter series or standalone or a full on, like, you have to commit yourself longer than 2-book series?
It depends. It really depends. I could go any of those, really. It really just depends on the first book itself. Like, for example, 2 books I got for myself that I have yet to read, that there's the start of series. These
Okay.
are the first books of each of their respective series. So I have to see how these feel if I want to continue reading the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I see that very nice collector's edition printed pages on that. His face is the sun as well.
Oh yeah, and Scorpion and the Night Blossom has that too.
Oh, very nice, very shiny.
I know, I love the sprayed edges now. The fact that they're doing that. When I was reading, as a child, we didn't really do that. We just had like fancy like covers.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but then there was also books that did both
Sprayed edges.
fancy covers and sprayed edges or a design on the edges.
Yeah, we didn't have that. And so I have 2 books that are like that as well. Because I always say, your collection needs something fancy.
Yeah, I believe that every collection needs at least one of those collector's grade box books that has the really nice, either a leather bound cover or gilt edges, sprayed edges, that sort of, with those nice hand drawn maps and characters.
Now, that's my favorite thing about a fantasy book is when they have the maps and you can like literally picture the entire world.
Yeah, and of course, like they did in the Harry Potter series, when they had the character portraits on the pages.
And then I love it when they describe the Marauders map and you can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are like my favorite when you do a fantasy book is when you have the map.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like those when they have the map, or do you prefer to picture the lay of the land yourself?
Oh, I like books like that. And ironically, I just checked. Other than Mind Games and the series that came before Air, I haven't looked. Shadow of the Fox, Air, His Space is the Sun, and Scorpion and Night Blossom all have a map.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. So, Gemmy, you've been on a bit of a reading sprint lately. So, how would you rank the books you've read in the last couple of months since you been on this reading kick?
Well, so far, I would have to say so far for this year, Scorpion and the Night Blossom number 1 for me so right now.
That's the king.
And then a very, very close second would be this, obviously.
Okay. And since you've been getting into munching your way through Nora Roberts' mind games, how is that ranking on the table?
I need to get into it a little bit more because I haven't had too much time to read lately. Then I'm getting used to a book like this compared to what I've read so far.
I'm a big fan of
But
having different genres under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, it is pretty good.
Is it as good as I explained that it would be?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Is it passing the chapter test?
And believe it or not, I think I'm only on chapter 2.
Ah.
It was one of those ones that, like, from like the first sentence, it gets you in, and then you never can leave until you basically have turned that final page, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have finished.
I just want to point out though, this episode of the Bookshelf is not sponsored or affiliated with Nora Roberts.
That's the only one that he has. You're acting like I'm having him go to the library and check out every single one. Like, no.
I'll take one of you.
This is why every time from now on, every time we discuss Nora Roberts, I'm going to have to put the disclaimer up saying that we are not affiliated with or sponsored by Nora Roberts.
But if you want Nora Roberts, please do. Please make us make Woody read one of your books. I would love to.
I feel like a kid in getting in between an argument between his parents here.
But look, it is simply down to the fact that Dreamer Girl is one of Nora Roberts' biggest fans. So this is why every time when the discussion happens, and it becomes like we're leaning towards Nora Roberts, I'm like, no, we are not affiliated with, we are not sponsored by.
But please sponsor us.
And we are definitely not part of Nora Roberts' PR team.
But I would totally join it if she wanted me to. Take my money.
Dreamer is the fully paid up card carrying member of the Nora Roberts fan club.
Oh,
well on the way to becoming fan club president at this rate.
No, I'm not. That would be you.
No. I would not. She would have to pay me to touch one of her books.
You just don't want to try something new. Are you scared of trying new things?
She does not. This is just my personal opinion. Is Nora Roberts is just one of those cookie cutter, authors that same book, different title, names juggled around. I wouldn't, not my thing.
Woody, we all have to try new things at once. I mean, look, I finally stopped reading coloring books.
Oh.
And just for your information, Woody, she is not cookie cutter. Don't you ever put her into that category.
Oh! You see? Rob, you finally stopped with the coloring books? What did it? Did you run out of crayons that you ate?
Yeah, I kept eating the chocolate, the blueberry.
Is that why your crap was blue?
It wasn't blue because I was like, why am I pooping out rainbows?
Because you're a unicorn.
And I thought it was supposed to be Skittles taste the rainbow. Not Crayola.
Maybe in the UK, that's how it's supposed to work.
No.
But yeah, Woody, don't ever say that Nora Roberts is cookie cutter because she is not. I take offense to that
Why do I suddenly feel so threatened by this?
because you opened the door.
I mean, she's got you by the crumpets, Woody.
Yeah, I feel so threatened. I'm like, ooh, oh.
Well, don't ever say it again. But anyways, is there a genre that you are interested in trying next?
I want to see how a good like horror / mystery book would go for me.
Oh, those are fun. You would love those. Those are so much fun.
Yeah.
I would have to say the next author you should try. It's good old fashioned Karen Slaughter. You can never go wrong with her. She literally is like mystery thriller horror. And
Okay.
it will make the
Mm.
hairs on your like arms literally stand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me ask you this: which book of hers would you recommend for me?
I would either say Pretty Girls or I think it's called All the Pieces.
Okay.
It was a Netflix show. I'm trying to remember. Let me look it up.
Mhm.
Pretty Girls, most definitely. That is like my absolute like favorite. I've read it like multiple times. Like the reread value is literally fantabulous.
Alrighty.
I'm looking it up.
Okay. So, Gamer, are there any books from your younger days that you are looking at maybe getting back into once again? Was there any books you remember from your youth that you were like, oh, that was a good one. I'd love to read that one again.
But for that Karen Slaughter book, Gamer, it's called Pieces of Her.
Okay.
So I'd say
I'll
either
look
one of
into
those. Those two, you could probably find them at any used bookstore.
I'll look out for those. To answer Woody's question, I honestly would like to go back and read the Percy Jackson series right from the beginning.
Okay, cool. So I guess they're being added to the World of Books order.
Because there's a lot of series I'm looking for. I almost had the chance to get one, but it was a mix of paperback and hardcover, which
Or I'm guessing it's also a trip to half price books on the on payday.
yeah.
Have a walk up and down the racks and see what pops out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the fun thing to do is to go to a used bookstore, walk up and down all the aisles, and see
Yeah,
what pops up and says, "Buy me."
No joke.
and
No joke. When I went to a half price book to get these, I was in there for an hour.
oh yeah, and as me and Dreamer mentioned last episode, that's also another great way of contributing to the circular economy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because if you end up not liking it, you just take it back and no
It
harm,
goes
no
back,
foul.
and you may have only spent $2 or $3 on that book, and it just didn't tickle your pickle. Okay, it just didn't float your boat.
He's like,
And
that's not any better.
no, but the thing is, it's true. If you spend $2 or $3 on that Karen Slaughter book, you read it and it's just it's okay, but it's just not my thing. You return it,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't really
No
lost
harm, no
anything.
foul.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
And you try again with another one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Is there a reason that you deviate towards more like fantasy? Is that just like your favorite genre in general, or?
It usually is, because with fantasy, you can almost do anything. Once you get like a certain setting, you can just go to town with what you can do.
So, given that fantasy has all these different types of subgenres, which is your favorite type of fantasy? Are you kind of like the high fantasy?
What do you mean?
You know, do you like the more Harry Potter type of fantasy? Do you like the more Lord of the Rings or Dungeons and Dragons or Skyrim type fantasy setting? The Mad Max type fantasy?
It really depends on, again, it's one of those where it just depends on the book or series, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because the reason why I say it, because maybe it was the Dungeons and Dragons or Skyrim type that you naturally gravitate towards over, the Fallout type.
Yeah, again,
Now,
it
is there a
really
book
just depends.
series? Now, I do have a question. Is there a book series you would never read?
Yeah, it's called 50 Shades of Shite.
Yeah, I think that book is on a lot of people's list, 50 Shades of Grey.
And another one, although I read it only once and I'll never read it again, The Adventures of Sparkle Nuts. I mean, Twilight.
I've read 50 Shades of Grey.
And I will say this, and a lot of people can disagree with me, vampires don't effing sparkle.
It's true. It's true.
I read 50 Shades of Grey. I read it in my 20s. It was one of those decisions I made in my 20s that I look back on and I'm like,
That explains a lot.
my
Now,
frontal cortex was not developed all the way.
I'm going to ask you this question, Helen. Did you check in on it when it was at the peak of its popularity with the book sales and the movies?
I don't think that the movies were out when I read it. And it was like I read it when it was just the books. And I didn't know about that it had been a fan fiction before it was a series.
So you were there in its infancy before it snowballed into this really hugely successful and really popular book series and movie series for all of 10 minutes.
Basically, yes. So again,
Okay.
I was so early into it that we cannot blame me for anything because I didn't know. And all my friends were reading it. And I'm one of those people, it's like if all my friends are reading this book, I have to read this book. And so
you did and that's how you ended up reading A Court of Thorns and Roses.
yeah, and I only read one whole book and like 2 chapters of the other one before I went, nah, I'm good. Where anybody out there who's listening who likes A Court of Thorns and Roses, that is good for you. Like you enjoy that fairy romance. Like you do that. It was not for me. And nobody come at me in the comments saying, "Oh, Dreamer, cancel her. She hates A Court of Thorns and Roses." It just was not.
It didn't tickle your. It didn't tickle your pickle.
It didn't jive with me. We just did not. We weren't friends, and that's okay.
Or as the kids say today, it didn't pass the vibe check.
No, it really did not. It wasn't that it was badly written. It wasn't that. It just was not the type of thing I was. I hate to say this and sound bad, but I'm not like the biggest fairy romance person. And again, like, don't come at me in the comments and say, "How dare you hate on fairy romance?" I've read the Cruel Prince series, and that is fairy romance, but it is young adult fairy romance, so it's done very differently.
So there you have it. It didn't judge with Dreamer Girl, so don't come at
Yeah, please don't. Like,
her.
please don't.
What if you all want to come after me for what I said about 50 Shades of Shade and the Adventures of Sparkle Nuts? Come at me. I'll just need to get a step stool to reach you.
I
Hang
have
on.
one next to me. I have one next to me, Gamer, if you need to borrow it.
Will do.
Hang on a second. Yep, I've just checked. Oh, we have reached our limit on short jokes. We're not allowed to tell anymore for a while.
Well, he walked into that one.
No, I know.
I said it.
Yeah, I'll just check it. That's ticked off the checklist.
But yeah, no. Like, so you would never read Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. Is there any other ones that you would never read? So then I can tell
Those are the
you
only
if
two that come to mind right now.
So on the flip side to Dreamer's comment, is there any book series or standalone books that are on your radar, are blipping on your radar as it's saying, read me.
Yeah. One Dreamer Girl keeps telling me I should read, and I'm going to possibly get the entire set all at once. The Inheritance Games.
I've also told you to read the Natural series by the same author.
Speaking of that, I've seen the first book at stores lately.
Get it. You will thank me later. It's amazing. That is the most amazing series. That is the series that Jennifer Lynn Barnes I read. That was the first one I ever read. And actually it's really kind of it's like Criminal Minds meets teenagers, and it's fantastic, and it's got romance, it's got mystery, it's got thrill, it's got crime, it's got literally, and it's young adult, so the romance is very
timid.
You see,
yeah, you wouldn't be getting full frontal anything in it, so you'll be fine.
you
And
see,
it's 4 books.
See, Dreamer, this is why you're never beating the I didn't corrupt him, the I corrupted him accusations.
Hey, I'm saving him from those books that are full frontal everything.
She is.
Well, because I've read most of the ones you're looking at. If I haven't, I go and I go, oh, I wouldn't. It doesn't say if it's young adult. I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, but then my question then is, how is he gonna learn if you don't let him attempt it?
I mean, if he wants to, I can give him a list of spicy books. I have read enough.
Okay.
He could read the one I'm reading now.
I mean, I'm sure if he wants to read The Striker, he can.
I'm not reading that one right now.
And I've seen that in stores.
No, you need to read that, Woody. The Striker would humble you.
I think I'll again.
Sure, it's the one with the half-naked man on it.
Oh, you mean the guy that was totally not on America's Next Top Model and was totally trying not to smize because Tyra told him, but he totally had a tummy gurgle mid pose. Honestly, honestly, his facial reaction was less smolder, more uh-oh.
But no, in all seriousness, if he wants to read something that is more adult romantasy, Like that's
Yeah.
adult romance fantasy combined. I could probably find him a few that would give him some really good full frontal spice and everything if he feels he's ready.
Or I could,
Be in a mood for that.
or what I could do, Robert, gamer, if you're really that interested in some good high fantasy, I can send you the Dritz Duonen franchise from the Dungeons and Dragons series.
Or
'Cause they
you and
are-
I, or gamer, you and I could read Fourth Wing together if you want to read about dragons and
Yeah.
romance.
I think, look, this is why I tried to save him from that romantasy and just give him some good old fashioned high adventure.
Fantasy gives it's high adventure too. Excuse
No.
me.
I am too sober for this.
Then go take a shot. Shot.
No.
Everybody.
No, but that's what I'm saying, because Dungeons and Dragons has a number of really good fantasy novels in its series, including Sagon the Barbarian, the Dritz series, and the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the Dragonlance.
But you could argue too that if you want high fantasy, you could also read Lord of the Rings. So that's high fantasy.
Oh,
That's a series I've read before.
The ever classic Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit franchise.
Yeah, The Hobbit is like my literal childhood. I read it in like 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah,
I was a bit more of a fan of the Hobbit series more than Lord of the Rings.
I was too. I have, again, nobody come at me, but I've never actually finished the last book.
I mean, to be
fair, when I was reading it, Harry Potter then showed up into the picture, and I was young and impressionable, and I went into the rabbit hole of Harry Potter.
I mean, to be fair, Dreamer, you are in that club of the people who have owned the Lord of the Rings at one point, but never finished it.
I mean, my dad was so disappointed that I didn't finish it because he'd read it and he was so disappointed. He was like, "How can you like not finish this like masterpiece?" And I was like, "Because Dad," I think I was like in like 6th grade, and I said something to the effect of, "Because Dad, that's old."
Yeah, it's like, well, it's old. It's like, why would I need Lord of the Rings when I've got Harry Potter?
Like Harry Potter is like the cool thing that everybody's reading now. Like, that's why.
Nobody's reading Lord of the Rings and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
But yeah, no, I have not actually ever finished it. It's on my list of like to go back and reread, and that list, everybody has one. Do you have a list of books that you would want to go reread? And what is on that list? Like, what's on your list to reread?
Well, like I said, the Percy Jackson series.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Hunger Games series as well. So I understand the new book that came out.
Don't say anything. You're not allowed to say anything.
I haven't even gotten to read it because Mr. Dreamer still has it being held hostage. So
I will drop it because she sounds like she's about to commit mass murder.
No, I'm just going to end up getting it using an Audible credit, even though Mr. Dreamer told me not to and to have patience. But I'm like, I have been waiting since it came out, and I've been very patient.
You must have patience.
I have, but I want to know what's happening because all my friends have read it and they're saying it makes them want to cry. And so I want to know, where does it make you want to cry?
Oh, at at the end of the book. I
But see, that's why I need to know. I must know. I'm one of those people that like I must know. Or I could put myself on the super long waiting list through my library and just get it for free.
yeah, but we all know, Dreamer. We all know your absolute luck.
And
You'll be
I'll be waiting like 5 months.
you. By the time it comes to your turn from the library, you'll have already started reading it
I know.
because Mr. Dreamer will have finally surrendered the copy of the book over to you.
I'm about ready to go stick a bookmark in it and then start it over.
Or either me or Senior Woody gets you a copy for yourself.
I know. Then I can just be like, here you go, Mr. Dreamer. It's yours forever. I couldn't wait anymore. I waited almost, 6 months. Like I've waited forever. It feels like. But yeah,
I know one book. Speaking of books, you guys, one book I want to read because you two have it or have read it.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden Girls book.
you need to.
Yes.
We need to do that. We need to all read or listen to that book and then
Yes,
have
because the thing,
a laugh about it.
it's like I said in the previous episode, Dreamer. I was like, I want to actually sit and listen to it from start to finish so I can enjoy it, and I don't miss anything because I fell asleep.
But yet you'll fall asleep during Jurassic Park. Got it.
Well, I put Jurassic Park on because I was listening to it before I went to bed, and then I fell asleep. But I have actually finished the full story before. I just put. What I do is I put Audible on and I put long stories on, and I generally tend to fall asleep listening to stories. But Golden Girls is one of them ones where I want to be able to dedicate the 8 hours to it from start to finish and not miss anything.
Now, are there any other books that are coming out, Gamer, that you want to read?
I'm not sure.
I mean, since Gamer said he is a fan of mythology, I think I might have to see if we can track him down a copy of the God of War tie-in novels.
Yeah.
Or try to get you the Percy Jackson books again.
Mhm.
Yep.
Then I just remembered another book I need to get just to be in on the joke. What happened to Rachel Price?
The reappearance of Rachel Price. And Woody over there needs to get it too.
Yeah, I'll get it eventually. There's loads of books on my Audible that I want to get, and I'm slowly working my way through my to buy list.
And a book Dreamer mentioned, and when she told me about it, I wanted to read it after she explained it. The Lake of Lost Girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was my favorite book so far of 2025. Like, nothing has topped it yet. And I've read 23 books already.
So whatever's on my Audible list, I will go through when it eventually gets around to my turn for this book chat.
I will totally believe that when it happens.
Well, because I decided we started with Gamer here, I think it'll be down to whoever whoever the next episode of Book Talk is with. It'll be between me or Dreamer.
I mean, I don't know. Who should it be next, Gamer? Who should it be next that we talk about our books? Should it be me or Woody?
How about whoever gives me the best compliment gets the next Book Talk episode?
You're so awesome. and he's not even going to give you one. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
going
like,
to give you a hard time.
yeah. I'm just gonna say, at least you're taller than At least you're taller than Peter Dinklage. There you go.
How about this? I have something. At least, I have to say, Woody, your nephew, Little Dreamer, is smarter than you.
Oof.
I mean,
I will answer this question at another time. I feel like I just stepped into another mother-father argument here.
No, it's a joke, and
I
Woody
know.
knows it's a joke. 'Cause he's
I
taking
said,
the Mickey out of me like all week because he hasn't napped, and then he gets angry, and then he wonders why he's angry, and then I'm like, because kid, it's nap time, and then he's like, yeah.
yes, and this is why you're getting it. You're getting it good from a.
A toddler. It's great. It's great fun. It's super great.
and now both you and him understand the real good value of a good nap.
I already knew what the real good value of a good nap is. I love
Yeah.
nap time. Nap time's the greatest time of the day.
But now that he's had 2 days almost back to back where he didn't have a nap, and he's basically been. Well, I don't think there's much you can really say about it, is there?
Overlord.
Yes, the fact he's been a complete and total Grinchy grump.
I don't know. He did that Overlord laugh the other day, and I went, "Oh God!"
It's like, oof. So now I think he kind of understands the value of nap time.
I don't know. He probably doesn't. You don't understand it until you're our age.
Yes.
When you have to work and pay taxes.
Or when he approaches school and nap time is no longer a thing.
But anyways, back on to, is there any book that like one of us has mentioned, Gamer, that you would want to read other than The Lake of Lost Girls?
Could the X-Files short story collections be on your list eventually?
Maybe. Well, I know, and I haven't really been brought it up to Dreamer. She actually has a book for me
Mm-hmm.
that I'm waiting.
It's a silly, like, cozy mystery. I think it's like talks about an ice cream, murder, or
like an
something.
ice cream shop and murder.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Well, we'll discuss your penchant for murder books.
He likes cozy mysteries. I like cozy mysteries. Who does not like a cozy mystery?
Someone who doesn't like cozy mysteries and probably prefers reading the Encyclopedia Britannica or westerns.
What, like the Walker Texas Ranger books that we can't find anymore?
Yes, that they are sadly out of print and now cost a small fortune. But I will try. I am still on the hunt for a copy of the 3 books.
Is that why I see the eyes of the ranger behind you, Woody?
The eyes of the ranger are upon you. As long as you're not discussing Trevette and his Speedo, we'll be fine.
Well, as long as the theme song says, as long as I'm not breaking the law, I'm good. He's just watching me.
And he's imagining Roundhouse kicking you in the face.
What, just because I said I'd buy the Walker Texas Ranger books?
No, because you always talk about Trevette and you never talk about him.
Well, I'm buying the Walker Texas Ranger books. I'm on the hunt for them. They've been added to the growing list, which I'm sure Gamer will now suddenly and miraculously obtain. Because as you know as well as I do, Dreamer, the to buy list, it never ends.
Mm-mm. My to
It
buy
just
list is ridiculously long.
and it just next thing you know, you have filled out that reporter's notebook just in book titles.
My like to be read is so ridiculously long. I know I'm gonna die before I finish all of them. Just wait until that happens, gamer. Once that happens and you enter into you'll never finish. Let us know.
Yeah, well, once either the to buy list or the to read list just grows more than it shrinks. That's it. It's game over for you. You're one of us now.
One of us. One of us.
Google gobble, Google.
I think we broke him.
I think he's just kind of praying it doesn't happen. He's just kind of going, please don't let this happen to me.
Oh no, I'll make sure it does.
Dreamer, let's be honest. It'll happen naturally. We won't need to do anything. The seeds have already been planted.
I mean, I have so many books I can have him go by. So many.
The seeds have been planted. We just need to sit back and watch them germinate.
And I have this whole, shelf. And then I have a book cart over here. And then I have a bookshelf outside of my office.
Yes. Next, there'll come the episode of the bookshelf where gamers say, I'm buying a book cart from Amazon.
Actually, they're really handy.
Next episode of the bookshelf there will come an episode of the bookshelf where we see Gamer literally in the middle of rearranging his bookshelves to try and make space for his growing collection of books.
I have to do that soon.
Well, I can show you which book cart I ordered.
No, you've done enough damage on him, Dreamer Girl.
Never. I never have.
So, do you guys got any more questions for me?
Probably not. Do you have any?
I was actually thinking for somewhere. I was like,
Actually, one just came up.
Okay.
Do you prefer, gamer, to read print or listen to a book or have an ebook?
I haven't really experienced digitally or listened to an ebook, so I can't really answer that completely or honestly.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. Would you be open to reading an ebook or listening to an audiobook?
Oh, yeah.
Well, all I'm going to say is I'm not going to lie, Gamer. That Audible account has been the best thing I've ever paid for.
I don't know. My Kindle Unlimited subscription is the best thing I ever paid for.
But the fact is because, like I said, I've worked night shifts. It's difficult for me to, dedicate time to reading. The fact I can just, buy books and play them when I want, pick up where I left off, or even have access to the Audible catalog where there's thousands and thousands and thousands of free books. It is really a useful thing.
I mean, I would have to agree. And if you want ebooks, I would recommend trying Kindle Unlimited because they have so many that are free.
Yeah.
I have to start looking into that myself.
Yeah, I think I pay I think I pay $8.99 a month for Kindle. Sorry, for Audible. That gives me 1 free credit a month.
The good thing about Kindle Unlimited is you can get 20 books. And it's like 11 something a month, and you get 20 books at a time. You can keep them as long as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're done, you return it, kind of like a library book.
Yeah.
So let's say you start a book and you go, nah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that they have like deals where like you can try it for free for like 2 months or something. Or it's like 99 cents for like 2 months. I don't know. They have different deals at different times.
Yeah.
I will have to definitely look into it at one point.
Yep.
But do you have any more questions for him, Woody?
No, I think that's pretty much. I think you pretty much covered everything. Anything you want to? Anything final you want to say, Rob? Sorry, Gemma.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids, and Woody, read Nora Roberts. Bye.
No, well, I might say I hope this has been a rather entertaining and informative look at gamers' reading habits under the microscope. Yeah, I hope you've found it entertaining on what he liked, what his favorite genres are.
Mhm.
And put down some book suggestions for him if you have any.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Feel free to in the comments to put some books that he might like. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us this episode. I've been your host, Woody.
Lone Gamer.
Dreamer Girl.
Thank you very much for listening, and good night.